This video is part 2 of my previous video, which some people said they did not understand. I believe you will totally understand at the end of my show today. And of course, we were talking about personal relationships in politics. Now, of course, the personal relationship in politics that most Kenyans would really like to know about. Indeed, it is still a deep mystery to this day, with so many unanswered questions. Is that between former President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto? What really happened? Because we know in politics, people have serious misunderstandings and each one goes their own way, only for them to team up again. But this one of Uhuru Ruto, people have tried, church leaders have tried. The two are irreconcilable. The two can never be brought together again. That seems to be clear. But before we come back to that inside story, let us start this story at the beginning. Now, in my previous video, and I would really suggest that you watch it here so that this one makes sense, we talked about the Pinto Jomo Kenyatta relationship. They were very close. And this is the thing about these relationships in politics. They do not last. And some of them end up very badly. Of course, some more badly than others. But they mostly end up very badly. Very few of these relationships last. And very sad, some of these relationships in politics end up in murder. Like in the case of Julius Caesar and his very close friend, Brutus, as portrayed in the play, epic political play, by English playwright William Shakespeare, titled of course Julius Caesar. And that play was based on reality. It happened. Caesar was assassinated, history tells us. So Pinto Jomo was nothing new. There is nothing new under the sun. But on today's show, let us focus on the people who put William Samoei Ruto where he is today in State House. Of course, it happened in stages. And one of the prominent characters in the early days is a man called Cyrus Njirongo, who was very influential during the Moi days. But even before Njirongo, who introduced Ruto to Njirongo? It was a man called Jacob Juma. Now, I don't know if many Kenyans are aware of this, but the Rutos used to live in Kawangware. Kawangware 46. Kawangware 56. Now, for the sake of those Kenyans who have never visited Kawangware, it is a slum estate. Okay, there are a few good houses here and there. There are even people who own ancestral land in Kawangware, but it is mostly recognized as a slum area. And the man who moved the Rutos from Kawangware to a better place is the same man who introduced the then young but very ambitious Ruto to Cyrus Njirongo. And the timing would not have been better, because when this was happening, the Youth for KANU 92 lobby group was about to be launched, and it was launched just on time for William Samoei Ruto to be an official. A junior official, but still an official. For those who have read my book or taken in the audio-video version titled The Ruto Kenyans Will Never Know, will already have this information. And you still have an opportunity to get your hands on it. I will leave details in the description area below on this video on YouTube. And we know how the relationship with those two gentlemen and Ruto ended. Yeah, although it is a little more complicated than that. The reason why I'm saying this is that there was a time Cyrus Njirongo, very heavily in debt, was committed to civil jail. And one of the people who gave a very hefty donation, to cover his debts so that he could be released from civil jail is, of course, President Ruto. That's why I'm saying it is complicated. Now, it was this closeness with Cyrus Njirongo that led to Ruto meeting Uhuru Kenyatta. Because when Kenya's second president, Daniel Toroitich arap Moi, settled on Uhuru Kenyatta as his successor in 2002, Ruto moved very close to Uhuru so as to be powerful in the next government. At that time, there were many Kenyans who believed that Moi would never lose. And therefore, Moi's project at that time, Uhuru Kenyatta, would never lose. And they believed that it was Uhuru who was going to form the next government after Moi left power in 2002. But it was not to be. Yeah, we know what happened. But first, I need to report that Kumekuchans continue in the spirit of the season to gift me, and indeed in the spirit of the tradition of this channel. You can see details on your screens right now. Yeah, of course, this big boost to the channel helps me a great deal. There are very, very many things I've been able to achieve and do for this channel that I would never have been able to accomplish without this boost from you. Asanteni sana. I believe you can see details on your screens right now. Very quickly, we also still have the sponsorship slots where you can sponsor a Kumekucha video and give this channel a huge boost, even as you give yourself a huge boost, by publicizing whatever it is that you do or whatever it is that you want to do, like selling some property, which people have done on this channel very successfully. You can see details on your screens right now. Right! And they believed that it was Uhuru who was going to form the next government after Moi left power in 2002. But it was not to be. We know what happened. And those who were super observant will have noticed that standing right next to Uhuru Kenyatta, as he made his concession speech, congratulating Mwai Kibaki for defeating him for the presidency in 2002, standing right next to Uhuru was William Samoei Ruto. And super fascinating, it is this relationship between these two gentlemen that made all the difference in the year 2012-2013, when Kibaki was leaving power. Because Uhuru already alikuwa ameingia box. He had accepted Mwai Kibaki's plan, which was to install Musalia Mudavadi as the fourth president of the Republic of Kenya. Ruto would never have managed to change that lineup, put together by very powerful people in Kenya at the time, without Uhuru's help and the help of Uhuru supporters. He would never have done it. And I'm one of those people who believe, based on my information, that Uhuru Kenyatta would never have become president without the huge efforts of William Samoei Ruto. Allow me just to leave it at efforts and not to go deeper. But I'm sure many of you understand. People tend to be consistent in how they play their politics and how they do things. I really believe that if people had paid attention to that very significant piece of information, then maybe in August 2022, things may have turned out differently. But it seems that too many powerful people underestimated Ruto. Yeah. And of course they paid the price. You never underestimate anybody. It is a mistake in politics. Usually a fatal one. Anyway, the relationship between Ruto and Uhuru was very close initially. Yeah. Uhuru used to introduce his deputy president as William. He used to refer to him as William, underlining their close personal relationship. And of course, the 10 million Kenya shilling question is what went wrong with that relationship. What exactly went wrong? We know it usually starts with a strong difference of opinion, and then it escalates into something more serious. Most people who know what went wrong are always talking about money issues. But we also know that Ruto being shoved aside by Uhuru Kenyatta, being pushed away from the center of power of an administration he was very responsible for creating. Yeah, he was very responsible for making it happen. Ruto did not take kindly to it. And it is believed that some of his reactions are what further drove the two gentlemen away from each other. And we need to understand that this happened long before the handshake of March 2018. But fast forward to the present, it appears that Ruto is very close to Kshs legislator Oscar Sudi. It is emerging that is amongst the most trusted insiders. And we know that this situation has remained the same despite the current problem or crisis amongst the Nandi community in the wider Kalenjin tribe that Ruto hails from. Because the constituents that Oscar Sudi represents are very deep in Nandi country. And many Nandi leaders, not only Cherargei, the senator, many other Nandi leaders have also been playing to the politics on the ground and resisting Ruto, frustrating Ruto. That is exactly what is happening. But even this has not broken the close ties between Oscar Sudi and Ruto. But we need to remember there is nothing new under the sun. That is the current state of affairs. Nobody except Almighty God knows what will happen next, what will happen in the future. But then we also know that history repeatedly keeps on repeating itself. Relationships are very important to pay attention to as an analyst in politics, because they'll help you read a lot of things that may not be obvious to read, based on what the politicians are saying. Because we know what politicians normally say is what they want people to hear. The real truth is hardly ever spoken by politicians anywhere in the world. And even when they stick closely to the truth, they will usually skew or twist the facts, to tell us something else. And this happens all over the world. From the days of Julius Caesar and his close relationship to Brutus and Mark Antony, to Kenyan politics today, let us always be careful to remember that relationships in politics always need our close attention, because they'll always point us in directions we would never have seen in any other way. More so in this season, this current season of judgment and exposure. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.